And this man a joke me making. You wanna bet enough of una the first one I hear this? I am back, people. Can you hear me this time? Look like the sun a come true now. All right, people. Breaking news. Me gonna drop a piece of nugget. I'm sure enough of uno are the first one I gonna hear them thing. Yeah. Me gonna play 2 short clips. And enough of you guys are the first you guys gonna hear this. Me and you, as usual, gonna learn from this video. All right? All right, people. So let's get tonight. Hope the audience are listening to me loud and clear. Very important, people. I want you guys pay attention to this. Many of you are first to not hear this. Sorry about a while ago, I do the video and, the people them say the audio not work. Can you hear me now, people? Can somebody hear me now? A while ago, I was a couple of minutes in, and several people tell me, say them not hear me. So this video is so important that I want you guys to hear it. Some of you are the first one that gonna know this. First one that gonna learn this. First. Some of you guys gonna understand what I'm going. Yeah, man. So tell me in the comment section if you can hear. Okay, let's get on it.
The U.S. government sent these black men into the desert with rusted rifles and dying horses, secretly hoping the frontier would finish what slavery started. But instead, they became the most feared legends in American history. In 1866, the Army didn't know what to do with thousands of newly freed black veterans. Their solution? Send them to the most dangerous, isolated edges of the map. They formed the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 24th and 25th Infantry. These men weren't just soldiers, they were pioneers tasked with building a country that barely viewed them as human. The Plains tribes were the first to give them their flowers. They saw these men fighting with a ferocity they had never seen in white units. They saw their dark skin and curly hair and named them Buffalo Soldiers, because to the indigenous people, the buffalo was a sacred, unstoppable force. It was a name born of respect between two groups the government was trying to destroy. But here is the unfiltered truth. The Buffalo Soldiers had to be twice as good just to get half the respect. While white units were deserting in droves, the black regiments stayed. They had the highest re-enlistment rates in the Army because for a black man in 1870, the uniform was the only place he could find a sliver of dignity. These men were the original park rangers. Before the National Park Service even existed, the Buffalo Soldiers were patrolling Yosemite and Sequoia. They weren't just protecting the land, they were building the roads and trails you still walk on today. Under Captain Charles Young, one of the first black graduates of West Point, they became the stewards of the American wilderness while the state was still trying to redline them out of the cities. They earned 18 Medals of Honor and charged up San Juan Hill with Teddy Roosevelt. Yet when they came home, they were often met with silence, or worse, violence. They paved the way for the total desegregation of the military, leaving a blueprint of excellence that the Army couldn't ignore. I want to hear from you in the comments. We celebrate the Wild West through the eyes of outlaws and cowboys. But why is the man in the 10th Cavalry uniform always left out of the frame? Is it because his survival proves that the untamable West was actually built by the people the law tried to exclude? Comment Buffalo to honor their unyielding courage. Share this with somebody who thinks they know the history of the frontier. Hit that follow button and join us at Black History Unfiltered. We don't just tell the past, we show you the warriors who built the world you walk on. The U.S. government sent these black men.
When I hear me, people? Can you hear that? Can you hear that, people? Remember. Can you hear that, people?
Breaking news,
man. Breaking news. Because me have something to show you. I play 2 videos I show you. Just 2. Only 2 people tonight. I'm not come to stay long. Just 2. Can you hear me? The last video, you never hear me, so I have to reboot it again. Like,
and if you believe that innovation like this deserves to be remembered, was to hit that follow button. Black History Unfiltered. We don't just tell the stories, we show you how we took flight.
Watch this. Bet enough I will never know this.
What if I told you that two black auto mechanics built America's first black-owned airport with their bare hands, and you've never heard about it? In 1931, the world of aviation was a white-walled fortress. Cornelius Coffey and John Robinson were brilliant mechanics in Chicago. But when they tried to enter flight school, the doors weren't just closed, they were dead-bolted. According to historical records from the Robbins Historical Society, they didn't wait for permission. They bought a build-it-yourself Pete and Pole air camper kit for $300. In 2026 money, that's barely $3,000. They had the wings, the frame, and the wheels, but they couldn't afford a real aircraft engine. Robinson's solution? He walked into Coffey's garage, pulled the engine out of Coffey's motorcycle, bolted it to the front of that wooden plane, and they taught themselves to fly in the empty fields of Illinois. But these weren't just hobbyists, they were revolutionaries. They sued the Curtis Wright Aeronautical University for racial discrimination. The archives of the Chicago Defender document the result. The school made them a deal to drop the suit. They would let them attend, but only for night classes, completely segregated from white students. They took the deal, dominated the curriculum, and graduated as certified pilots and mechanics in less than a year. But graduation brought a new problem. They were pilots with nowhere to land. White-owned airports in Chicago refused to let black pilots touch their runways. So in 1931, documented in museum archives, Coffey and Robinson headed to Robbins, Illinois, an all-black town. The mayor, Samuel Nichols, welcomed them. A fun fact for the Trekkies out there, the mayor's daughter was Nichelle Nichols, who would later break her own barriers as Lieutenant Uhura on Star Trek. The community didn't just watch, they worked. According to local records, volunteers cleared boulders with their bare hands and leveled the terrain. They built a single hangar out of scrap lumber. They created America's first black-owned and operated airport at 14,046 South Lawndale Avenue. It wasn't built with government grants, it was built with belief and sweat. This airport became the headquarters for the Challenger Air Pilots Association. They trained the legends. Janet Bragg, a nurse and Spelman grad, became one of their first students and even bought 2 planes for the field. Once Willa Brown, who overheard Coffey talking about planes while she was working at a Walgreens, became their student and eventually the first black woman to earn a commercial pilot's license in the U.S. Here is the heartbreaking part. In 1933, according to contemporary weather documentation, a violent windstorm, a tornado, ripped through Robbins. It erased the airport in minutes. It wasn't racism that destroyed the field. It was nature. But look at what happened next. Coffey moved his operation to Harlem Airport and opened the Coffey School of Aeronautics in 1938. Between 1938 and 1945, over 1,000 students went through its program. If you've heard of the Tuskegee Airmen, the legendary Red Tails of World War II, you need to know that a massive portion of them learned to fly from Cornelius Coffey. He provided the foundation for the 99th Pursuit Squadron before they ever stepped foot in Alabama. The Federal Aviation Administration didn't forget him. In 1980, they named a primary navigation intersection near Chicago after him. It's labeled Kofi, spelled with 1 F because radio checkpoints are limited to 5 letters. In 1993, he was named an Elder Statesman of Aviation. Today, if you drive past that vacant lot in Robbins, you'll only see a historical marker. But what those men proved is that a motorcycle engine and a little bit of grit can conquer a segregated sky. If this is your first time hearing about Robbins Airport, drop a comment. If you're tired of history class leaving out the parts where we were the architects of the future, share this. And if you believe that innovation like this deserves to be remembered, was to hit that follow button. Black History Unfiltered. We don't just tell the stories, we show you how we took flight.
Black History Unfiltered, thank you. It show you people every time they give you the crap and the scrap. We make good out of it. And that's where I come from. How you believe you get your ribs? Your ribs. Nowadays, you see when have ribs cook off. Ribs. Ribs. People love ribs. People go buy them ribs. They have big ribs cook off. They go barbecue ribs. These are the scraps where come from masa. Cut off the nice meat off it. That is the bone, if you go that way. That's the carcass. But we find a way to make meat out of it. Ribs today. Ribs. We will love ribs. People love them barbecue ribs. Every holiday. Weekends, same way. We just drive by yesterday, I see what people are barbecue. Many different homes as me a pass. Go look mango. I'm gonna get enough mango. Ribs. Are we? That's that. So whatever they mean for bad, we make good out of it, people. Ribs, you know. How we create that, man, on the farm. Mars are cut off all the best part of the meat, family. And the bone, that's way. And guess how we use that? Make ribs out of it, people. Barbecue ribs today. Not true. Yummy, yummy, yum. The intestine, the animal intestine, and that we get in. The bone and the guts. So the guts would include the intestine in it and whatever inside. We use that, people. The inside of the cow. Notice when you go to the store, if you see that I sell right now. You have a chitlin out there. They get chitlin. Animal tripe, them clean it out. Check out what is inside the tripe. You have to clean that out first before you can eat that. A Didi in the tripe, people. Didi. As a slave, you want a piece of meat. The first time you see, you understand me I say? You have to clean out the tripe and eat it, consume it. But then again, many of these slaves are not brand new to certain things, you know. Remember, certain knowledge have to be handed down from their mothers and fathers, ancestor, or come down. I don't believe it's the first time they must say tribe when they come on the plantation. No. Remember, black people bring civilization to the West. That means would have learned certain things already. And look how smart them man be. They make them go to school at night. Yo, they can't go to school at day, go to school at night, people. Anyway, tell me what you're thinking in the comment section. Because this video right here, I feel them thing with the pan, people, is for entertainment purposes only. I feel them thing with the pan, people. But if I give you the knowledge, my name is Jamaican Carlos. I'm out.